Welcome back to Surface Unscripted, episode 167. Brevan, we're feeling better. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. You weren't here, well, we don't sound as sick as what we did in the last episode. But
Mm.
that's probably because we have some rugby to look forward to, which is always fantastic.
I mean, that's it's
Actually,
it's probably the best medicine out there, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, we haven't had it since what, the 28th, well, since the Stormers last played. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So
I mean,
definitely, let's
it's
get
not
into
really that long ago, right? Like it's
it.
2 weeks, but it feels like forever. I don't know.
It does. 2 weeks off is
Probably
always the
because we had
worst.
a yeah, it's probably because we had like a break and everything. So yeah,
Yeah, true,
but
true.
maybe it's because we didn't film during the final week as well. So
But even then, there were no games to talk about. So I'm just excited to see some rugby again.
yeah,
So
fair
yeah,
enough. People, please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate all your love coming in. Yeah, let's chat about what's it? Round three of
yeah, yeah.
the Champions Cup. Starting off, let's do what we usually do. We chat about the South African games first. Um, Obviously, there's been no squad announcements or anything like that. Stormers taking on Sale. You sent me a post yesterday that got me very excited.
I knew it would.
Ivan
So
Russ back in action. Give it to me all day. Sale versus Stormers. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure we're taking this. I'm 100% certain that the Stormers are taking this one.
I'm with you. Like the Stormers are starting to slowly get their players back. A lot of the strong personnel that they were missing coming back, and now having Francois Haber, Dion Fourie, and Ivan Roos back is
Yeah,
huge. It's
yeah.
huge, and obviously Ben Jason Dixon being there. These are
Do you
guys
reckon
that
Sasha will be
obviously.
back?
I, at this point, just wrap him in bubble wrap and rest him a bit more because I really
I've
can't
never seen
see
him get
how.
injured from the bench. So just play him from the bench.
Yeah, we'll see. But all I would say is Stormers, just please make sure the kid is ready to play. That is all I'll say. Because
Yeah,
sometimes we've seen him be a little bit too eager, and then it costs him. So yeah. But
yeah.
anyways, regard even
To
if
be fair,
Sasha's
I'd
not there,
rather if he's not 150%, I'd rather just let him chill for another week.
yeah, I'm
Just
with you. So, but even if you don't have Sasha, I wouldn't be. I mean. Marnie looked obviously his kicking display off the tee wasn't great against the Sharks, but what he was doing at 10 was very, very good. And then also Jean-Luc Duplessis at 12, I was actually very impressed with him and the way he played against the Sharks at 12.
mm,
I thought he was actually decent. So yeah, I think you guys should take this. I think you guys are starting to find a bit of rhythm. 2 wins in a row against two South African teams. Two South African teams that have been in better form than the Stormers before that game. And
yeah.
yeah, so I think you guys are looking good. Players coming back, like I said. And obviously Sale is always a nice game, especially for you at the moment. So
Sale is AJ Bell bullies. That is what I've come to realize. I don't back them traveling, not traveling to South Africa at least. And the thing is, right, Brevan, we spoke about the dire state of the Stormers, but we also every single time acknowledged the injuries. We even had the discussion of like what could the expectation possibly be, right? If you have your whole first team, literally the whole spine of the team, every single Springbok, and all your potential players out injured, then it's kind of tough, right? But we all know with the Stormers, if they have their full strength team, they are one of the best teams in the world in terms of how we play, the talent that we've got there. And we've seen it, right? And I don't even think we were particularly great against the Lions. I don't think we were particularly great against the Sharks. Yet I felt like we were by quite the margin the better team in that game. Right?
mm,
Obviously, there was the Sharks game was close, but I don't think it should have been as close. And the Lions, okay, we ran away with it, but we could have easily ran away with it even more. Like the Stormers are a great team. Get that full strength team there, and I'd back us to beat most teams, and I'm most certainly backing us to beat Sale in Cape Town. First game of the year. The crowd will be roaring. I'm pretty sure of it. I've got the Stormers to lead by a lot and then maybe leak in a try or two at the end. So I'm going Stormers by 13 points.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Stormers win, and I think they win comfortably. I think obviously the Sale bring some Saffers back home in that team, like the likes of Robert de Preer, I think Ernst van Rijn, I think Hiron Andrews is also there.
All the Dupree
Um,
brothers and Ernst van
yeah,
Rijn.
yeah.
That didn't
So
help them last season. They still lost.
no, look, regardless of that, I'm just trying to hype up a game that I think is already lost. But sounds arrogant, but I can talk because I'm not a Stormers fan. Yeah, I think your guys' quality is too much. In Cape Town, it's a difficult place to win. So yeah, I think you guys win double digits, exact amount. I'm gonna be similar to you, but maybe a bit more. I'm gonna say 15.
Whatever happens in the game, I feel like this is a guaranteed banger. Like this is going to be a good game to watch. It's either going to be like that or that first half of the Sharks game, where it was an absolutely error-prone game.
Yeah,
You never know with Warwick Geland, right? I feel like this is the perfect game for Warwick to either have him play 80 minutes, pull off some beautiful magic, or zip him off at 15 minutes. That's kind of the feeling that I get about it. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Sale leaked too many points. Right, that's kind of what bit them in the ass last season, where they didn't score enough tries necessarily. They won a lot of games, they fought hard and stuff, but they didn't concede a lot of points. So that's the one thing that we can do at least is fucking score points. We leak a ton of them, but we do love scoring a bit of points. So, yeah, I feel like with the dangerous guys that we have, and by the way, I'm a massive fan of Hartzenberg and I'm a massive fan of Leland Zas. But if Siabelo Sunatla can play like he played against the Sharks every single game, that guy was on another planet. I've never seen Sunatla play like that. I've always said he's a speed merchant. Bro, he did some crazy stuff, except for that insane forward pass. That was the biggest forward pass I've ever seen. But, yeah, I'd play him on the wing again.
Yeah, well, I think definitely needs to be rewarded. And he's definitely put on a bit of size since he's come back from that injury. So he's put on some size, still got that speed about him. Maybe not as quick, but still got speed. And it was a great finish from him and to score that try against the Sharks, and he had a great game. So I think he needs to be rewarded. But yeah, ultimately, what's nice now is obviously we spoke about your backs kind of having to do the main job while the forwards were out. But now that you have a lot of your forwards back, it's also nice that you can rely on that as well. So
yeah,
it's going to be a good game for sure.
Even Salman has kind of picked up his game. I don't know if you've picked up on that. Like the past game that he's coming, like
I was like against the Sharks, I was a bit more impressed with what I saw. Obviously, probably needs to still do a bit more, but baby steps. Like obviously,
what I'm trying to get at is like we played Ruben van Heerden and JD Schiekeling, and they were our standout players. And I thought they've been great all season. But when Salman came in there, I wasn't like, oh, Salman's been stinking it out, put on Ruben van Heerden all of a sudden again. I was like, he's doing a fair job. He's doing his job.
yeah.
Sub him off at 60 minutes and put on Ruben van Heerden in, and he'll do you the rest of the job. So if someone can put in steady performances like that, and he can actually use his Goliath size, I'm happy. I'm happy. That's where I think we beat Sale, is high paced, but also just using brute force that we usually do. That scrum of us is magnificent at the moment. Like it's Neetling Fouchier. That
machine.
guy.
He should be better now, I think, because he obviously took a huge hit against the Sharks. I think the man literally, I could see it. He was like, I don't want to go off. And he was telling the
Yeah.
physio, like, go away. But the man was just like falling all over the place because you literally, from where I sat, you heard it like as if you were right there. It was loud. And then,
Yeah,
but I think
well,
he should be back 2 weeks off. I think he should be back because obviously that's just a concussion. So he should be
yeah,
back after 2 weeks.
he should be fine. Well, I mean, even if he doesn't play, we still got Francie Malherbe. So, yeah.
Yeah, scary.
Anyway, so I'm going 13 points and you're going 15.
Yeah.
Big game. Massive game. DuPont in the south. We've got the Sharks versus Toulouse. Now, on paper, this looks like a close game. On another paper, it looks like Toulouse should be running away with it because the Sharks aren't that great, right?
Yeah.
But then again, you think about it, look at the players that the Sharks have. You're like, those guys do like a big game. Look at that Challenge Cup final, right? They had no right to be that good in that game. When those guys know there's something to play for, they can pull it off. I'm not backing them to pull it off. I'm going to lose, but
Yeah, same.
I wouldn't put it past the Sharks, would you?
Look, at the end of the day, I think they will definitely be missing Fussy and Esterhuizen. Those two injuries did not look good. So those are two big losses, especially because I felt like Esterhuizen was the only thing that the Stormers were struggling to deal with when you guys played them. He was making meters, and he was the only attack weapon the Sharks really had, and it was working. And when he went off, they kind of just lost it. So that's a big loss. And then you have Fussy, who he's growing game by game, getting more mature game by game. Very good player, but a big loss that now. So it's tough because I want to back the Sharks, but I just think you're talking about a guy like Antoine Dupont, right? And a lot of these other French guys, right? These guys, as much as especially Antoine Dupont, these are superstars. Like, and we have superstars in the Sharks, but these are superstars that I personally feel like they've been a bit disrespected in the sense that everyone's like, oh, Dupont doesn't come to the South, and or the French don't really send their
Yeah,
strong
they've got a
players
point
wherever
to
it may
prove.
be. Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I think I think Eben is probably back, but with Plumtree saying Eben needs rest and his body's just not well. Is he going to be back? I don't know. But if Eben's missing, that even makes my case even more clearer. I just think Toulouse, because this is what I'm going to say, because I actually looked at this before we came informed. I looked at the last game these two teams played in 2023 in April, and I looked at the Sharks team. It's had Sia, it had Bongi, it had Ox, it had Thomas Dutoy, it had Pepsi, it had a lot of these Grant Williams, and a lot of superstars in that team. And they got battered, even though it was in France, they got battered like 54-20. Like that's a gap. Now I'm sorry, you don't have Estes in there who you've added to that team. You don't have Fussy who you've added to that team. It's a bit possibly not there. I don't see a thumping, but I still see Toulouse being too strong. And I don't want to say that, but unfortunately, I have to be realistic. And they're a great, great team, best club team in the world currently. And yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game for them, but I just think that the quality will pull them through, and I can see them winning probably by like 10 points.
I've got to lose by 8 points. But the thing is, like, there's always the threat of kind of the unknown, right? Like maybe they would have found out a way to stop Andre Esterhuizen, but now they're going to throw Ethan Hooker at 12, which gives you something completely different, right? Ethan Hooker might want to take that opportunity that he gets at 12. Is Lucania back? I'm not even sure. I don't know.
No idea. No idea.
They're taking out Fussy, right, from that fullback role, who's had a phenomenal season. But they'll probably just replace him with Jordan Hendrickse, who's played fullback for very long periods of time. So, and he's been doing a job there, right? Siamusuku, if he can get a sniff of what he was like last season, he could be a threat in that 10 jersey. Obviously, the wingers matter. Who would the Sharks play on wing then?
I think Mapimpi will definitely play. He's had a great
Pimps
season.
and
then,
Keita.
oh, Yao Pink, sorry, Yao Pink there. I don't know. I actually don't know who. Or they might stick with Ethan Hook on the wing and just put Francois Fente at 12.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but then I'm just thinking who they're going to put on the bench. I think that they are more likely going with Francois Fente on the bench.
Yeah,
To get that cover. Yeah, whatever, right? That's the thing, right? But the Sharks have got crazy depth, and they are still a quality team. I am backing Toulouse to get it done by 8 points. I think those guys will be hungry. But a big thing, right? And I know you can't always talk about the weather and stuff, but it's obviously it's not the coldest in France. I heard like it's about 10 to 15. But coming out of that and going into literally the most humid place in South Africa, going in and playing in 40 degrees, big difference. Big difference. Like our boys that's been stuck there in Durban, they understand the weather. They've been training in that weather for the longest time. These Toulouse boys, they've come down this week? It's a bit different, don't you think? Because that ball is going to be like a piece of soap in your hands.
Yeah, maybe. The thing is, like, I've gotten to the point now where I don't even use the weather anymore, the altitude as a factor.
Yeah, because you're getting beat at Loftus at the moment. That's why.
No, but realistically, right? Because I kid you not, like it was hot when the Saints came to Pretoria to play the Bulls. It was hot. You struggle to breathe when it's at altitude, but they did it perfectly fine. And these are professionals that are insanely fit. We don't realize how fit these guys are.
Yeah,
and obviously, yes, maybe the first day or two they kind of like adapting, but by game day, I think they'll have enough to kind of adapt. Obviously, look, the ball on a different hand, where you're saying like it could be humid, the ball's wet. That's a different story. But then again, they train for these things. They do practice with a bit of a wet ball. But mistakes can always happen. But we'll see. Obviously, I'd love the Sharks to pull it off, as we always want our SAFA teams to win these big games. But this is a team. Toulouse is a team that is like. Have you seen how many stars they have on their
if the Sharks
jersey?
split off?
Yeah, I would. Genuinely, I'd be surprised. Not because I disrespect the Sharks at all, but we're talking about the best team in the world in club rugby.
Toulouse, they've lost a couple of games this season, and they were full strength as well. I mean, they've lost to, for instance, Bordeaux. Well, Bordeaux is obviously class and stuff.
But
I'm just saying,
Bordeaux is a great team. That's the thing. I think Bordeaux beats the Sharks as well. Like,
yeah.
These French
I don't want to take
people
anything
don't
away from
realize
Bordeaux.
like
I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
Toulouse, they have this aura of unbeatability, but they've not even lost one game. They've lost a couple of games this season.
Yeah, fair. But this is the Champions Cup. I feel like this is, I don't know, it's like Real Madrid in the Champions League, It's just different. But we'll see. I could be proven wrong, and I'll eat my words happily. But I think I'm keen to see the team selection, because I think we're just going to see a Toulouse team that is like insanely stacked. And then we're going to realize, like, oh my goodness. You don't realize how good that team is.
My dog's going crazy. One sec.
No worries.
Sorry for that rude interruption. We're just going to move on to the Bulls game. We've got the Bulls taking a Castres. Castres don't lose at home, Brevan. Castres would be the easy team, but they don't lose at home, brother. They did everything in their power to lose against Munster, and they still didn't lose.
And the best part of it all is the Bulls, from what I've seen. Obviously, I haven't seen an official squad announcement, like who's traveled, but from the pictures I've been seeing online, it's a very, very mixed team. No, I haven't seen Hanekom. I haven't seen any of those players.
No, me
so
neither.
I'm nervous. I am not licking my lips for this one.
Brevan, I'm sorry to say, right? But I saw the Bulls post yesterday. Looking forward to seeing you back at Loftus. I think they are writing this game off.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised. They've already lost 2 games. It's a tough fight back. Castres would have been that game that they expected to win until they found out that they're playing Castres in Castres. So, no. I'm going Castres to win this game by 9 points.
I'm with you. I hate to be negative Nancy, but realistic has always been the way I go, and
Focus on
I
the
can't see
URC.
the I can't see the Bulls winning this. And obviously, if they lose this, that means they're out, correct? Basically.
Yeah, then you've lost 3
'Cause-
from your 4. So,
okay, cool, great. So yeah, I think Jake's probably like, it's over Champions Cup, and just focus on the URC, I guess. But
who was your
yeah,
first
look,
game
I've
against
seen
again?
Saracens. Look, we did play
Yeah.
Saracens away in like a terrestrial wind and rainstorm. It was like you kicked the ball and it went backwards. But obviously,
Yeah.
we didn't play like we deserved to win that game. And then the Saints game, oh goodness, don't even get me started. And then Castres, yeah, like you said, like you said on your personal channel, Casual Bias, people told you about this team that just doesn't lose at home, and we were like, oh yeah, cool. And then they beat Munster, and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah, and they're
okay,
doing
that's
really well.
nice. Yeah, so I'm fully expecting the Bulls to not win this one, but it is what it is. But if you're gonna treat it that way, then you deserve to be kicked out, essentially. So
Yeah.
yeah,
What's your feeling on it? Like it's the first game of the year back. Surely you just go full. I mean, we could be talking about shit, and then we see the team, and then all of a sudden you see Anukom, you see Elrich Lau, you
yeah.
see.
Well, look, we don't know. Yeah, so if
But
that
it's
is
your
the
first game. You
case.
have to go full strength, bro. No.
Look, I have two stances on this. Obviously, it's a very important competition. I acknowledge the importance of it. Some Saffers may not, but I do. I think it would be I think it's the best trophy to win in club rugby, in my opinion. But with that being said, I look at the schedule of these rugby players, um, and I'm like, wow, they are busy human beings for the whole year. I think now you look at because when it's like URC, when the URC ends, you got to remember like these Saffers go straight into the July tests and whatever, then they have to prepare for rugby championships. Then they back in for the URC again, and it's like these guys don't stop. So I understand you need to give these players a rest at some point.
But not in the
And
Champions Cup.
but the thing is, we've lost to. Is it realistic we make it like? So I'm seeing both
You
sides.
can't
I'm
have
not
that
saying I
mindset when
agree.
you're a professional coach or a professional selector or anything. Like,
Okay, but then when would you have rested them? Because let's be realistic here. This is
no,
why
URC.
Sasha's getting injured. This is why, but URC is where we actually doing well.
Yeah, but it's still
Like,
the secondary tournament. It's the how would you feel if your team played in the Champions League of football, right? And you had the slimmest of chances of going through, but you still have a chance, right? And they just put out bomb fluff.
ultimately, yes, I would play my full strength team, but then I'd hate to see us rest the team in the URC and we start bottling it there. So yeah, I don't know. All
Okay.
I'm saying is it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah,
It is
fair
what they
enough.
signed up for, and there is no complaints. But
But we're both
I just
backing
think,
calf to get it done.
yeah, I reckon 8 points or nine
Yeah,
points,
I've got
something
it by
like that.
9. I've got it by 9. Uh, Now we can move over to the other games. Glasgow versus Racing, 92. Glasgow at home, same as Cast, same WhatsApp group.
It's a good game, but yeah, I think Glasgow will have too much.
Yeah, and Racing just they kind of like the Sharks, where it's like they've got the strongest team, or like they've got this insane team, but I haven't seen them perform in quite a while.
Yeah,
Glasgow will want to get back to winning ways. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they lost their previous game to Edinburgh.
yeah.
They've also lost they've lost to Toulon as well. Back to winning ways at home. No better way to do it. Start of the year. I think Glasgow do it comfortably, 15 to 17 points.
That's hectic. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm going to say by 10 to 12. But yeah, I don't see Racing winning this. I think, like you said, Glasgow are now can no longer be called like these underdogs. I think they're a very good team that have proved that they can win the RC when they have the most difficult route to the final. They can beat some good teams. So yeah, I think you have to seriously consider them as a threat to most teams. So I think
Yeah.
Glasgow will be pretty confident going into this one, as they should be.
Yeah. Do you reckon Bordeaux whacks Exeter in England?
In England, yes. What am I saying? Well, I'm even thinking about it. Yeah. Well, where Exeter are like last, if I'm not mistaken, in the Prem,
Yeah.
or has that changed?
One sec, bro. Once continue.
Uh, I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, Exeter only won their first game like 2 weeks ago. I didn't even know they won a game.
Yeah, but oh yeah, ultimately Exeter, they just have not been good this season. I don't think they have the star power. But Bordeaux, like we said, Bordeaux is a seriously good team. People look at like I look at Bordeaux and think they are easy like a top 8 team in the world in club
Mm.
rugby. So seriously, like obviously they're away from
I
home,
mean,
but
top eight,
I
top
mean
eight is a lot. I'd go top four. They are
top
really
4.
that good. Top four,
Yeah,
top
fair.
five. You look at that team. It's a sexy team.
Yeah, true. I tried to say things like a bit more cautious in case like someone in the comments like, what, top 4? No way. But yeah. Uh, yeah, no, 100%. I think they should win and they should win comfortably ultimately. I don't know if it'll be like a massive hiding, but I could see like a 18 point, 17 point win. Um, because obviously it's away from home. But like from England to France, it really isn't that long. It's like literally they're right next to each other. It's an easy
Yeah.
trip to make. So yeah, that's the
Yeah.
nice thing about being in Europe.
Yeah. I've got Bordeaux by, I think it was like 27, something like that. I think they put a fair beating on them. They might let Exeter be kind of close by the first half, but then just run away with it from like the middle of the second half. The same as they did against Ulster, the same as they did against Leicester Tigers. It's just a quality team, too much quality. And Exeter, they're sitting without Fawa Boso now for 12 months, whatever how
Yeah,
long
exactly.
he's out. So, yeah, Munster versus Saracens.
Oh, that's an
That's a
interesting
juicy
one.
one.
I'm gonna back Saracens, but that is an interesting game. It's
Munster at home.
obviously yeah, I know. That's what I was gonna say. That's why it might be closer, but I think Saracens they're hitting some form now, um, doing decently. Got a good team on their hands, obviously, as we all know, they have a very good team. They impressed me when they played against the Bulls because compared to when I saw them play at Loftus to what we played them, obviously in England, day and night. And yes, the conditions were different, but like I said, conditions are not like I was really impressed by Saracens. So
Yeah.
very physical team in my opinion. I think they'll get it done. I think I can see them winning by about 7 points.
Yeah, and it's just not been Munster season really. It's
Yeah,
I'm
they've
going
been
with Munster
very
home
hot
crowd
up and down.
yeah, and I'll have Munster's crowd keeping them in it for a fair bit, like until the end. But I've got Saris to scrape over the line by like 4 points. That's what I'm backing.
Yeah, I think that's
Uh,
fair.
I think this is an easier one to predict. Stade Francais versus Saints. Uh, Stade Francais, that I don't reckon they'll play their strongest team. That's why I know they're at home. Um, but they're kind of struggling in the top 14. Saints are really hitting form now. I mean, I think they just beat Bath as well.
They beat
So
Bath, yeah, last minute kick, yeah.
beat the Bulls at Loftus. So yeah, I'm going Saints to get the victory. What did I say by 16? A lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think realistically, like Saints are starting to look like they were looking last season, when they
Yeah.
won the Prem. They definitely struggled in the beginning, but now they are really finding their feet. I think they're adapting to life without Courtney Laws, and they are putting up their hands to being one of the better teams in the world at the moment. So I think they should win this game. A very, very good team. The way they managed that Bulls game was phenomenal. I think their defense was solid. Can really they can hit you out of nowhere on any part of the field. They can break through on the wing or wherever. They're very intelligent with the way they play. Alex Mitchell, a phenomenal nine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am fully backing Saints in this one, and I think they should do it by double digits. I'm gonna say like 12 points.
Yeah. Fair enough. We agree. Uh, Leicester Tigers versus Ulster. I've got Leicester Tigers to batter Ulster. Ulster, they've got a lot of injuries at the moment. Tigers playing some good rugby. I mean, look at the rugby that they played against the Sharks, albeit not
Yeah,
Sharks' full strength, but it wasn't the Sharks' weakest team necessarily.
yeah.
I'm going with a big margin on that one. This is my biggest margin. I'm going Tigers to win this game by 29.
Yes, that's big. The thing with Ulster, right, is they're a team that strikes me as they're not very good at the moment per se, but they like to make a game very, 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 very not close, but like they'll be in it. They'll fight, and I think they'll get beat for sure. That's not in like a doubt in my mind. But I think it will be closer than you think. Um, I can see it being about maybe a bit more than close, but I'd say about 15 points. Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah. So
This is actually a juicy one. Before we get to another absolute banger, we'll just kind of rush through the rest. Toulon versus Harlequins. Did you see that Baptiste Seren try assist?
uh, I think so. Just remind me of what it was again.
He got the ball from the ruck, grabbed it
Yeah.
through, picked it up himself, offload like back of the hand, little chicken wing, gave it. They rushed up. He received it back again, cross kicked it on his weak foot for the winger to go under the post.
Okay, I don't think I did see it, but
All in like
I
one
heard
play.
about it.
It
That's
was
why.
insane. That is the best try assist that I've seen since Dylan Lates' chicken wing across the field.
Oh, I
That
remember
was
that.
filth. That was filth.
Yeah. I think I still have that on video, like on my phone.
Yeah.
Because that was crazy. But yeah, look, when Toulon played you guys, I was actually very impressed in the sense that I look at their team. I think they have good names in their team. Carl Sinclair, and obviously
Olivon is
Seren.
injured though.
He's who?
Olivon.
Oh yeah, that's a loss. But they're still a good team. Uh, but yeah, look, ultimately Harlequins. Uh,
You
very, I
just
don't
don't
know. I don't know
know.
what to. Yeah, you
You
don't
just
know with them. Like you're kind of relying on Marcus Smith to do everything at this point.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they could lose to the Falcons or Zebra, and then they beat Bordeaux in a quarterfinal like last season in Bordeaux.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
They just built
It's
different
they're
when
a
they were written off.
weird team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I do think Toulon will win that game.
I think it's close though. I've got Toulon by
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah. I think Toulon by like 8. But yeah, not a runaway victory at all.
Yeah, fair enough. We've got a big boy on our hands over here. La Rochelle versus Leinster. Is it a big game if you look at last season how it went?
It's always
I
in a
don't
big game when O'Gara comes to town, man.
know. And it's in La Rochelle.
Yeah. Well, so yeah. Uh, I'm keen to see. Do you think they go with Pendergast at 10? Or sorry, Prendergast at
Yeah.
10?
Yeah. Probably.
I
I
think
think Leinster go
I
full strength. They have to win this game, right? for them, it would be massive to secure that top spot heading into like the playoffs, like that home games in the playoff games. That's massive for you, right? A lot less traveling for you.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I'm backing Leinster to get it done. What did I say by? Closer than last season, because I'm struggling to see where Leinster batter them, because La Rochelle, they've been decent this season again, and Leinster hasn't really needed to get out of second gear, but that could also affect them, if you get what I mean. Like, to all of a sudden now having to play the game of your life after you've just been kind of cruising the whole way through it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Leinster by on the dot 10 points. I think that would be a fair assessment of how this goes, because you have to remember this is in France as well. Now, I know they battered them last season, but it's a different season now.
Yeah, I'm just looking like where La Rochelle. I see they're sixth currently in the top 14.
Just beat Toulouse.
Yeah, that league is weird, man. Like,
No, but it
I don't
wasn't.
get
No,
it.
but it was a very, very second string Toulouse team. Like,
Okay.
no big names.
Okay, Faiz. But yeah, look, ultimately, like I said, I think Leinster were going to do the double this year, so of course I think Leinster's going to win this. So
Do you
yeah,
have
I
Leinster to
think
even lose a game this season?
I, not to. I don't know.
They've
They'll
never
lose a
been
game. Don't get me
performing.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. They'll lose a game. Everyone loses a game at some point. It's not like it's very rare in any sport where you'll see a team go the whole season without being defeated.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare. So they'll lose one along the lines where maybe they've rested a couple players, or on a day where like their big stars were just not up to it. Like kind of like when they lost to the Bulls at Loftus, you know. Because if I see Leinster come to Loftus now, I can easily think that they would win, considering how the Bulls are playing at the moment, you know. So yeah, look, I just think they're a good, well-run team, and now, like we said, they've added Akistam and they've added Jordy Barrett. They've got Jacques Nienaber. They've got good players before those three even, and the coach obviously with Jacques Nienaber. But yeah, it's and La Rochelle is just not the same. Obviously, they won it 2 seasons ago. They won the whole thing, but times
Twice
change,
in a
you
row.
know. Yeah, well, exactly. But times change, you know, and I think Leinster will be dying to. First of all, they did do it last season, but now they'll say, "Okay, we're going to come to
Let's
your
do it
back
again.
garden and we're going to do it again." You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's important for them, and I think they'll take it seriously. They'll play full strength, and I think they'll win comfortably. So I'm going to say 13 points.
Yeah. Okay, let's fly through the final two. Bristol versus Benetton. I mean, Benetton beats Bath,
Bristol.
okay, albeit second team Bath, but then struggles against Zebra. So I'm going Bristol. Bristol is at home. I
Yeah,
know Bristol has lost a couple of games now, but at some point you have to get back to winning ways. So
yeah,
I'm going Bristol by 17 points. And I think this will be a nice game to watch, actually.
yeah. I think it will. This is a good game for Bristol to have at home, because obviously they'll want to build some momentum.
Yeah, need to.
And Benetton being Benetton, you never know what you're going to get. So even if Benetton does show up, I still think that they might not end up winning the game. But I can see this being a decent game to watch. But at the end of the day, I think Bristol being at home, Ashton Gate, let's say Bristol by 14 points. Two
Yeah.
tries.
And then finally, Bath versus Clermont. It's touch and go. I've got Bath with quite a big score.
Have Bath lost their first two fixtures? They have, eh?
Yeah, they lost against La Rochelle and Benetton.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
It's tough to call. Like, I've got Bath by 15, and they're playing at home, but I'm not too sure. I'm gonna stick with it, but Clermont has been looking good. Well, Clermont lost their previous game. Who did Clermont lose to?
I'm not
I can't
100%
remember.
sure.
I can't remember.
Um, But ultimately,
They lost to
I
Leinster.
think Bath.
Did they?
I think it was. I think it was. I think it was Leinster. I'm not sure. Don't quote us on it. But point being, I still think Bath will pull it through. I think it's do or die for them at this point. You know, you've lost two.
Yeah.
You have to win the third, and it's good that they're playing at home because luckily that takes off a bit of pressure. Um, but yeah, look, I think Bath have a lot to prove. They've just lost to Saints with a last minute kick, which will have made them distraught, I'm sure. So they'll be looking to right the wrongs, and I think they will comfortably. And I could see it similar to you. I don't want to do the same, but I'll say 17 points for Bath to win.
Yeah. Fair enough. That brings us to the end. We can wrap it up. Everyone, thank you for watching. Please do remember to like and subscribe. We do appreciate you guys. Yeah, a bit more of a mellow episode, but it's because we don't really know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in the Champions Cup. Exciting times.
Yeah, and also we don't know what teams have been selected. It's all these teams decide to now
That's always
pick,
what makes these predictions
pick on
tough.
pick on Friday. Like, when did this happen? You know,
Yeah,
remember the good old days
we have to
when
pick on what happened in the previous year. Anyway, have a good one,
exactly.
everyone. We will see you again on Monday. Thank you. Bye.